Brett Perigo, tonight's second place finisher. Plenty of fans here, Brett, and a solid second place finish.
Yeah, I got to shout out the Turn 2 Terribles over there. They're all a bunch of good guys to hang out with, talk to. I really like them.
How are you doing tonight, man?
Hey, I'm talking here. You know who you're talking to? Macho Man! I'm on my way to Monday Night Raw.
How do I want to answer the second one?
Your choice.
It's a trap.
I feel like it is. I feel like he's setting up fights in the front stretch. Is what he's trying to do.
Speedway. We've got Devin Gordon with us.
At Keen Motorsports Shop here with Kyle Keen.
Sitting here with Sean Keen. We're going to talk a little bit about racing history.
Yep.
Monday, July 22nd, 2024. We are the Turn 2 Terribles. I am Jimmy here with Chris and JC. Thank you so much for joining us. We are back after a week off. We got a little bit to catch up on from the past 2 weeks here in Central PA. We got obviously the Kings Royal to catch up on, and then we're gonna spend most of the show probably previewing the upcoming week, big week here in Central PA. We got the World of Outlaws coming in for the Summer Nationals at Williams Grove, and also a stop before that at BAPS, and also you got High Limit at Lernerville tomorrow. So got a lot to talk about. Thanks everybody so much for tuning in as always. I see Randy and Matt in the chat as always. Thank you. Dakota Kuhn, just want to give a birthday shout out to Tyler Shell. He is a big Critter fan. Yes. Happy birthday, Tyler Shell. Big 21st birthday. He's going to have some fun at Williams Grove this weekend, I think, with us.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you, Kyle Keen.
That statement is only half true, I would say. I don't know that he's a big B fan, but it is his birthday, so happy birthday, Tyler Shell.
Hell yeah.
What about racing World of Outlaw champion, Tyler Shell, right?
That's true. That's true. Guys, it's been 2 weeks. How are you guys doing?
Very good. Well, glad to be back. Glad to be back home. Sort of off the mainland there for a week, and glad to be back in the air conditioning and a little bit cooler weather.
Yeah, anytime we complain about hot, humid weather here, just talk to Jay-Z about the past week that he just had to deal with.
Yeah, good times. Good times. It was great time. Certainly worth it, but it was a warm experience for sure. Chris, how was your time, man? You've been all over the greater Mid-Atlantic region the last 2 weeks.
Been kind of traveling around. I made a surprise visit to Jimmy at Pocono, and he wasn't really surprised because he knew it was coming eventually. But at first it was a surprise. Just kind of while you guys were out gallivanting around, I just took the time to see a lot of different things.
That's good. That's good. I had a hell of a time at Pocono. I love going there every year. Spent 4 days camping out there, and it was fantastic time, fantastic weather. We had a little bit of weather Sunday morning, but then Chris made
was
it.
more than a little bit.
It was a
weather.
pretty good storm. I know a lot of people had a hard time getting in, but
At least
I
didn't
mean,
hide in the
honestly, it was
truck.
just such a freak thing, man. It really was. Like, it was the only weather. There was a little cell. It was the only rain from Massachusetts down to the Carolinas. It's the only cell, and it hit Pocono about 4 hours before the race. But I was having a great time. Me and my girlfriend Kim, and then Chris came along and even upped that, and we had a great time. So we enjoyed the week off, but we have to get to some racing here in PA. We have 2 weeks to catch up on. Not that much really to catch up on racing wise. Obviously, some other things, but let's go through it. Let's start off with 2 Fridays ago. Rain, so they say, at Williams Grove on Friday.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's spend about an hour talking about this. No, I'm just going. I don't care.
So obviously, it was the first race right after Speed Week. I think car counts are going to be pretty low, regardless. I mean, it always is right after Speed Week. It kind of everybody needs a little break to catch up and catch their breath. And so there's some rain in the area on Friday, I guess, at Williams Grove, and they canceled. So I know some people had some thoughts on that because it didn't really rain, I guess, during race time. But hey, it is what it is. It was probably the smart move anyway. They probably weren't going to get a ton of fans on a ton of cars, to be honest. So it was probably the right move. And then we go to Saturday, and kind of we have to start this off kind of somber. It was the Fallen Firefighters makeup race at Lincoln Speedway. And then news on the way to the track, Riley Emig was involved in a vehicle accident with his motorcycle and tragically passed away. I know that shook a lot of people up. It was, if I had to say one positive, it's in times like that, it's nice seeing how close the racing family really is, regardless of what happens on track or anything like that. Everybody pulling together to do what they can for the Emig family and just coming together and help each other get through a really tough time. Losing a competitor, losing a friend is never easy. And so guys, your thoughts on Riley?
Obviously, a young guy, a lot of life ahead of him. Got to speak with him a few times in the pits the last couple of years. Watching his 410 career kind of get started. Great group around him, great family. Always a tough deal. Even though Riley wasn't racing anymore, it wasn't that long ago. It was just last season.
Yeah.
So definitely, a lot of friends and acquaintances and people in that pit area. It meant a lot to. He meant a lot to a lot of people. So definitely got. You could see how close that community is for sure. So a lot of good things have happened in the week. A lot of money raised, a lot of events, a lot of tributes, a lot of different things happen throughout the next week, and I'm sure we'll continue.
Yeah.
Chris, echoing what you guys said. I mean, you see everyone rally around it, and it's tough. It's never going to be easy for the family and its close ones. But it's cool. Seeing everyone rally makes it cool.
Yeah, that's like I said. That if there's one positive out of it, it's that helping each other through a tough time, and even though, like you said, he wasn't racing, he was still very ingrained in the community and had a lot. You started seeing a lot of pictures of like Jaden Wolf and a couple others of JJ Lost. They grew up racing since they were little kids, like for years and years now, and just tough. Especially it's so young and so much ahead of them. Really such a shame, and thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends and everybody. So we'll talk a little bit more about that because of this past Saturday, what happened there. But going back to the Saturday before that this happened, 410s, Aaron Bollinger with the win. Big win. We knew it was a matter of time until he started really knocking these down and kind of foreshadowing 2 weeks in a row over Freddie Raymer and Matt Campbell. Troy Wagaman and Tyler Ross make up your top 5. Dominic Miller with the top 6. Any thoughts from this race? Any from the we none of us were there. None of us got to see it. Just kind of going by what we see here with the results.
This is just from early season on. This is one of those other guys that I said it's an I told you so moment. Matt Campbell was one. Aaron Bollinger was another one. When they get going, they get going, and they were due, and Aaron was due. So glad to see him get this knock out this win. Obviously, we're going to see here he does a back to back here. So. Don't know a whole lot else about what I see here on the screen. Devin Borden with an 11th running Lincoln. Did Port rain out?
No, Port ran. We're going to talk about that next. Port ran.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I don't know.
He may have got lost.
I think because this was the Fallen Firefighters race, so there's a lot of stuff going on around it, and it was more to win. So I'm wondering if that's why they went to Lincoln.
I know they said they were going to do that this year. It wasn't track championship chasing for Devin and the team, but still kind of surprises me.
You had Lucas Wolf there too, TJ Stutz. Some guys that would kind of normally run Port Royal. TJ Stutz has been kind of back and forth, but
TJ's been in Lincoln all year in the 11P. So, but yeah, I don't know.
I think it's cool seeing our good buddy Jordan Gibbler and Brett Strickler and Jordan all on a line there, make a nice little clean list. That's all I got.
Yeah. The one that stood out to me was Dominic Miller. He's been sneaky fast at times this year compared to, I know his deal is kind of like all just kind of family. He was 305, has been getting into the 410. So it's good to see him get a top 10. And then the 358s from that night, Frankie Herr wins over Doug Hamaker and Jude Siegel were your top 3. Steve Owings, Matt Finley round out the top 5. Aiden Hare was 6th. Jaden Wolf 9th. Adam Carberry 10th. Just a couple there to make note of. We'll move on to Port Royal. That Saturday they did run 23 cars there. Logan Wagner with the win over Jeff Halligan and Jake Karklin. And obviously, we're going to talk about it a little bit here from this past weekend, but that 69K is starting to roll again with Logan. It seems like they finally have come, kind of figured some things out. You're seeing that 69K up on the fence, absolutely ripping. And Logan's kind of back to form where he was with the Zemco car, winning all those titles.
I have a thought. So that kind of, we talked about them being off the pace, whatever. Everyone had that thought, even though they're running 7th to 10th, which isn't off the pace by any means. Darren Pittman comes into town, wins with that car, and that seems to have been the turning point. Not only for Darren Pittman, but for Logan as well. From that weekend, he won at Williams Grove. He swept the night, and he ran it right before this night and looked good until just kind of wasn't there in the feature, and I think he had some issue with a tire or something and pulled off, but he was fast time that night too. Do you think Darren Pittman helped bring something there that helped catch them back up, or just
I think
luck?
Partially, but I also think if you remember Donnie Kreitz early in the season, the whole reason that they parted ways with
Justin Henderson.
Thank you. Was because of their motor program being down, So I'm wondering if they said about midsummer would be when they were going to get their motor program it was kind of projected when they're going to get their motors back. And I think, they were good. They weren't, like you said.
They weren't bad.
They weren't bad. They just weren't winning every week as we were used to when Lance was in the car. So I just think, when Darren came back, they had their motors fresh, ready to go. They had their stuff ready for the big tracks. And things just started clicking, too. I think they had more time with Logan. Right. They had a couple more races with Darren as well. And, I think it all kind of works together.
Yeah. You damn well know. We know Logan Wagner can drive a race car. He won 5 championships at Port Royal. 69K knows how to make race cars go fast with Dave Brown and Don Kreitz and that. So this is interesting how it kind of worked out timeline-wise.
Dave Scott Smeltzer makes a good point here. I noticed this when I was doing the results. They had 3 69Ks there that night. They had Logan, they had Cassidy, and then the 69KK was Steve Downs, which I thought was interesting. right? I think it was Steve Downs.
Yeah, it was Steven Downs. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool. They had 3 cars running. So obviously they got motors, they got the equipment to be able to do that. That's pretty cool. That's really it from Port. Any other thoughts here from this lineup?
I have
Cody
questions
Lehman,
about that.
Cody Lehman, another top 10.
Yeah.
The wing in that picture, Jimmy, is that folded up?
Yes. So this is Jeremy's picture from this past Saturday. It was the same winner, so I just used it for both.
That's fine. I just want to come back to that then when we get to that race.
We will when we get to
Yeah,
that.
one of
notice that.
One of the bars broker got bent, and the back panel is bent in there. That didn't start the race that way.
No, it did not.
But if it helped,
yeah. So
I doubt it.
So we move on from last weekend, and then we move into this week. And Friday night was Clinton County. Williams Grove was dark because they have the Outlaws coming out.
Because they're smart.
Because they're smart, I guess. And Clinton County had one of their 2 410 races, and I was lucky enough to go. And me and Chris, we went last year. That was my first time really to Clinton County to see sprint cars there, and it was awesome. And then this year, it was great. I have some videos here that I'll I'm going to show here just to kind of show, because I know a lot of people maybe haven't gone to Clinton County, and really they have a race August 10th, I believe.
August 10th.
August 10th. And if you're around and if the weather's nice and you have nothing to do, go check it out. First heat. First of all, Garrett Bard wins this whole thing, and he was fast from the get-go. And the first heat, I think it was the first or the second heat. Before we get all that, we had a little controversy. I'm going to show it here a little bit. Unreal. Unbelievable. Well, they killed that pretty quick. I don't know why. Our stream went down as soon as I started showing some video, so I guess I won't be able to show any of the video that I took myself. But Mark Smith and Adam Carberry got together. It was right in front of me. Carberry got thrown into the wall. Unfortunately, could not race the rest of the night. They had 30 cars there, but they ended up not even having to have... They lined up for the B main, but only 6 cars lined up, and then Dustin Bainey went for a ride in the first turn, checkered it, just started everybody. So there's a lot of attrition throughout the night. A lot of just kind of that was like really the only like incident between 2 cars, it seemed like, until the feature. But there's a lot of single car deals, just kind of guys getting up over. If you saw that little bit in that video that we were able to show, guys just kind of it's a very thin ledge up top, and there's no wall except for in turn 1. And then if you get over that and get into that wall, it ain't soft. So that's kind of what caught quite a few people here. But Garrett Bard getting his first 410 victory. Mark Smith and Chris Frank rounding out the podium. Good runs by them. Mark Smith and Chris Frank, really, they were battling. Bard was pretty much once he got around Mark Smith and they started getting lap traffic, he was gone. And Mark Smith and Chris Frank were kind of battling back and forth here. A couple surprise show-ups. Chad Trout I wasn't really expecting to show up, but that was cool. Jesse Attard was another one that kind of came up out of nowhere. Dale Blaney made the trip out. He has a win there from last year. Cody Hartlaub made his first start there, I believe. Billy Dietrich obviously was there. Aaron Ott was in the 11P. He's been making some appearances here the past couple weeks, which has been pretty cool. We haven't seen him in a car in a while. JT Ferry made his 410 debut. Aiden Borden made his 410 debut. Logan Rumsey finished his 20th, but he was running up 4th, 5th-ish. He was having a really good run. He was really fast all night. And I don't know if he got around on his own or if he had some help, but he got around. Jesse Attard ran over basically his front end, and that killed his car. So disappointing ending to his night. He had a really good run going. He was going to be a factor, I think. But yeah, if you haven't been to Clinton County, especially for a sprint car race, but in general, it's a really, really nice facility. The place was packed. It was good to see. And they had 30 cars. It was cool to see. And obviously, I mean, some of them were like 305s. Some guys were 305s that bumped up to maybe a 360 or a 410. But that's one cool thing about this track is is you could kind of have a mixture of all those kind of sprints, and they could still be competitive. It was a little bit more tacky than normal, but it was still slick. Yeah, it was a great time. Good race. Garrett Bard, congratulations on the win. Tyler Koenig says, which might explain why Carberry wasn't at Lincoln with the 358. Yeah, that car was pretty. If it would have let me play the video, which I don't know why I took our stream down as soon as I played video from my cell phone, the car was pretty bent up. So, you guys have any thoughts from this rundown here?
Yeah, I do actually. Carberry, it wasn't Lincoln, not because of that accident. He not only has hurt cars, but his 358 is out for repairs as well. So that he had his 360 in during that event, and he said he's putting car on the shelf this season. Evaluate for next season. I think he is done for the year from his social media posts. So torn up a lot of race cars in recent weeks, and his 358's down. So out for repair. So just a tough string of races for him. But probably, I mean, that's a lot of races for him this season. So reevaluate and go from there. This is what it sounded like.
He was pretty hot getting out of that car, and I don't blame him. He got fed. I don't think Mark Smith did it. Right. Yeah, I don't think Mark Smith meant it, but it still happened. Carberry didn't really do anything wrong. Just kind of coming out of turn 4, and Mark Smith was diving in there to get underneath them, and they made contact, and Carberry got the shit end of the stick. So, Chris, what were your thoughts?
Chris Frank, every time he goes to Clinton County, just unloads his 410, and there's a 410 race. He's just sneaky. And I think there's going to be a time very soon where he breaks through at one of these races and gets a win. The bug man, little shifty guy.
He looked really good. Their heat was stacked, and I was going to show it, but I don't know if something's shutting us down when I try to play video. I don't know what it is. But it was Chris, Garrett Bard, Cody Hartlob, and Billy Dietrich all in the same heat, and it was great. They were 3 wide out of 2 on the first lap. It was really good. Bard was pretty much gone battle after he got around Chris Frank. But they looked really good. Billy kind of he was running a little bit higher, but he spun out, and then had to come back up from the back a little bit late in the race. But yeah, again, August 10th, Phil Walter Classic. I would expect they had 30 cars there. They're expecting even more. I know AJ Flick is planning to come out for that race. Jordan Givler was supposed to be at this race, but they're expecting. So congratulations in advance. But he plans on being there as well, and I'm sure some others, would probably make the trip up. It's a little bit more of a higher paying race, and
is it still 6,000 to win?
I think it's 6,000. So it's on a Saturday night. It's the night of the Knoxville Nationals, but it's a great track. And I know I'm going to go back in 2 weeks because USAC East Coast is there, and I plan on going there a lot more often. To be honest, I've already was sold. I already liked it, but yeah, just a good time, good facility. You can see they're putting money into it here and there. And it's just nice backdrop. You're in the woods. It's a cool place. All right, I'll get off of Clinton County, riding them a little bit, but good show by them. Get there if you can, and go support that place. Saturday, Lincoln Speedway, pretty much a carbon copy, just with less cars. At Lincoln on Saturday, with Aaron Boenger, another win over Freddie Raymer and Troy Wogman this time in third. Jesse Attard with a P6, Jordan Strickler with a P10. 17 cars there, though. Jeremy, thoughts from this?
Yeah, I do have thoughts. It's disappointing. I think that I appreciate them having a race, but I don't think they needed to have a race on Saturday with 410s. They could have just as easily done 358s as a headliner, had another good support division. whatever. I don't know. I think that, a combination here to get to 17 cars, Aiden Borden, Zach Ucolano, Jeff Rohrball, right? Which Jesse Attard, who knows, to get to 17 cars. We know Strickler was out of town, one of them. Givler.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas Wolf was at Port.
Yep.
Billy Dietrich went to Port.
Yep.
Kyle Moody's hurt. So, there was a lot of factors that contributed to this. They could have just as easily had 23 and people wouldn't have said a word. But it didn't happen this week. And Lincoln is not used to this. This is not normal. Last year there were times at Williams Grove where we'd show up and this is what you'd see. And we all were kind of like poking fun at the bear a little, poking fun at him a little. But I think this is just a bad combination of timing and for the world. Danny's on vacation. He took a week off, didn't race anywhere. There's another one probably, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's why Billy went up to Port. I don't know. I think
I have an idea why he went to Port.
I do too. And listen, if he doesn't like it, he doesn't like it. He put his money where his mouth is and said, I'm out. So at least for a week. It's disappointing. It's unfortunate. But you kind of can only blame yourselves a little bit, I think. Like
we raced too much.
A combination of a lot of different things. Can't believe I'm saying Williams Grove is the smartest track over the weekend. But it's a wild time out here in 2024.
Right.
So there's that. But Port got 23 cars, and some of the cars that filled their field were not weekly normal cars. So you take a couple from Lincoln, take a couple from Port. They both, the average there is 19, 20 cars. But Port got 23 and Lincoln got 17. And it is what it is. But the most important part is Aaron Bollinger getting back-to-back wins. Freddie, Troy, Brandon Raymer with a really good run there with a fourth. That's really good for him. Matt Campbell with another top 5. So good quality laps for a lot of these guys that, been higher car counts this year and haven't made every A main. Aiden Borden, I'm sure those laps were invaluable, however many he got. Sounded like Cody Hartwell had a mechanical issue early on in the heat race, weren't able to finish. But, Jordan Strickler running top 10 there and running closer and can see the leaders, from the top 10 there on a restart. That's good laps for him, around good cars. So that's about all I have for that. I'm not gonna get too fired up about it because I think it's an anomaly. But at the same time, there's some of their own doing at times I think contributed to this.
Sure, but at the same time, I understand why they race because they're going to be dark this week with Outlaws in town. They're not going to race. So if they would have taken this week off and then next week you're dark 2 weeks, but you could run, like you're saying, you could take 358s, make them a headline division and do something else. But I mean, I'm sure the fan count wasn't great. I know it wasn't spectacular at Port either, but it wasn't terrible for what it was. It's just one of those weekly deals, and it's kind of one of those things where you go back and revisit and be like, is it worth to even open the gate and have a race? With the fan and car count the way they are. Now, Port's a little bit of a different deal, and we're going to get to that next because they had still friggin' like almost 90 cars in the pit area. But, yeah, I don't know. I think part of it, though, is they raced this weekend. They raced the weekend after Speed Week because they know here with Summer Nationals, they're going to lose a week.
Right. But to Jeremy's point, and I know some of this is sponsor-driven because this is the event. I think Dean's Auto Plaza ran this event. They wanted 258s added to the card. They dropped the Super Sportsman off.
That's true.
It's just this event's been in the crosshairs for a few weeks, right, wrong, or indifferent. It was supposed to be a 410 Super Sportsman show, and they wanted 258s added because of all the rainouts and stuff, which I get it. The sponsor kind of pays the bills, and the race that I guess it had to get moved because of the fallen firefighters race. So I see why he had 410s there because the sponsor probably pays for that.
Yes.
But maybe something we can learn from. Williams Grove learned. We used to race Williams Grove all these same weekends, but maybe we don't have to. Maybe this could be a 358, kind of like the Dirty Deeds race at BAPS or whatever it is, where it's like more money. Make it a big 358 race with a support division and give the 410s off, knowing things have changed, and you can't race all the time. Now, it's good opportunity for guys like you said, Jordan Strickler, to get some time, or Nash Ely, to get some time in a competitive situation. But is it the best product you want out there on the track? I don't know.
They could maybe communicate these past 2 weeks. Maybe Lincoln takes 1 week, Port Royal takes another week,
and
the other tracks could still run, but run a different division. They have
Right.
more 410s concentrated in one race, and then they're both going to end up being dark because of the Outlaws being in town
And
this week. So
that's what I'm saying.
maybe there's something to learn from.
Something like that, where because Port, they got 23, but they don't get a pass either. It's the same. They did the same thing. They just had a couple more cars. I know. I mean, the 305s. You're going to get to that. 305s kind of carried that.
Yes.
But you were there, and they had the wingless sportsman, so they got through. It's like, do you really need the 410s there? Why could they not make that a late model night? Knowing there's a big sprint car race not terribly far away. I mean, it's what, 6 to 8 hours. Like, I don't know. If the tracks work together, we go about it before, promotion working together, it helps everybody. Maybe something to learn from. I don't know. I'm not gonna be hard on them. They have a job to do. It's not my job. It's their job.
Everybody putting Brad and William Wagaman in the chat saying that it's funny tracks working together, but I do think they do work together at some points. Like Lincoln doesn't run a race this week, do they?
I'm sure they probably have something, but no, not sprint cars.
But I know with the World of Outlaws, they kind of make that accommodation. They stay dark.
Probably have, right? But even so, they, I don't know. But why do they stay dark? Because no one's going to be there.
Right.
What are you going to put there? Even if you had 58s headlining this weekend, no one's going to be there except for the race teams.
Right.
So it's a little different. This weekend, I get why they would get more of a draw if they would have had legends, like a BAPS type of deal where it's legends, micros, or whatever you want. Not micros, but like something like that. It brings in a high car count. You're going to get more people there than you would have otherwise, I feel like.
No, they're dark this week. No racing.
No racing. Yeah, so I don't know. It is what it is. You know, it's just only they know if this past week was profitable or not by looking at, you know, the money that came in. So, and then they could evaluate from there. It is a weird time. It's weird to say take 2 weeks off in the middle of summer because you never know what kind of rainouts you're going to get. Hence the Fallen Firefighters race being moved and everything. But I don't know. Right after Speed Week, it's really tough.
Right, and that's what Mandy says in the chat there. Like, it's like the perfect storm. You have a big race going on, Kings Royal, all that. Right after 10 days of racing or 9 days of racing, everyone's kind of like, hey, maybe a 2-week break wouldn't be a bad idea.
No.
Hey, it's like what I just said 10 minutes ago. Are we done here?
Yep.
Okay.
Port Royal, Saturday, 410s. Logan Wagner with another win over Gerard McIntyre and Blaine Heimbach. Logan, this was a fun race. The surface was really good. I know it was kind of up in the air because thought it was going to rain, which shout out to Lincoln too. I thought it was going to rain down there too, and they got it all in. But it was fast up at the top, but tricky. And there was slider lines. There was a bottom. There was a middle. But the fast line, of course, at Port Royal is always up at the top. And if you can hit it right, like Logan Wagner, man, do you fly? And that's what he did. He was passing cars. Now that the bent wing there on the right side, I was up in the pit grandstand, and he was battling with Mike Walter at one point, and he got into that where the chute is coming out. He got right at the edge of that wall and hit that, and that's how it got bent. Yeah, good win for him. Again, Gerard McIntyre, Blaine Heimbach, Mike Wagner, and Michael Walter, the top 5. One name you don't see here, and another on the way to the track. Luckily, this one went a little bit better. Was the Zemco hauler got into an accident on the way to Port Royal, completely flipped. It sounded like a tire blew and the thing flipped. Everybody is okay. I know one person had to get taken to the hospital for evaluations, but they're all home now. But Chase Dietz was leading the points here, had to miss the race. I know he gave a thanks to TJ and Ethan Stutz, who came with their hauler to help clean up and get everything, just kind of people pulling together. I know I was at the driver's meeting and Steve O'Neill was starting the driver's meeting, and he's like, hey, if I screw up, sorry, I'm just not into it. I just came from the scene. his mind was obvious somewhere else because at the time we weren't sure. But really bummer for that. I mean, the whole I don't know. I would imagine the whole hauler is probably totaled. Don't know when we'll see those guys back. Hope we see them back soon. Obviously, the points and everything come way secondary to all this, but for us, just evaluating the competition side of it here, Chase missing this race, Logan Wagner with another win. This points race got a lot tighter now, and who knows what the future holds for Chase.
Just a tough deal. I mean, you hate it. Some of that happens. Bad luck. No one can control it, and luckily no one was injured, and everything's gonna be okay. I mean, race cars and race trailers can be replaced.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, it's just racing. They'll be back at some point, and they'll be ready to go.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be back. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Definitely a tough deal, Jimmy. I'm sending you a picture actually in our admin Discord. The truck uprighted. Definitely, truck and trailer. I'm sure are no good. Trailer might be able to be repaired, but that tractor is not in good shape. So, that was the report when it got uprighted there. But yeah, tough deal for sure. Looked like a right front tire potentially, and then flipped over, rolled over on the side. Had a fuel leak from the trailer. They got that cleaned up. Don't know beyond that damage. I know the Stutz family came out and helped out with a trailer, truck and trailer to transport everything, I guess, from the wreck scene. So, knowing how race teams work and how things go, if they can be there next week or when they race again, they'll be there. But nobody would be surprised if they're not. So, kind of a tough deal, right? Because what was it last season? Mike Wagner, his trailer, they had an issue, ran off the road just outside the racetrack, leaving the racetrack.
Yeah,
Mike Wagner and their hauler, and now we have this deal. So, definitely a tough deal for sure. And hopefully we'll see them back soon and get back on track.
Also, you said, just to go back, Clinton County, there was a team that had a problem on the way to that race too.
There was an accident because there was some late arrivals because there was an accident on 80 on the way to Clinton County, and there was a trailer with 4 of the Legend. It was either 3 or 4. Of the Legend cars that got into a wreck, and they weren't able to make it. And the Legends only had like 13 cars, and they lost like 3 or 4 of them right there. But it sounded like everybody was okay there. But obviously, just tough deal. And then another thing, Dylan Yoder too. I remember being behind him driving back. I passed him, and then I get home and seeing his whole trailer caught on fire, and I'm like, he was just rolling behind me because we go the same way home. Just kind of crazy the past couple of years with all the incidents with the haulers and everything.
And actually 2 weeks ago, Trevor Feathers, they had a tire blowout on their trailer, on their truck 2 weeks ago on the highway. So, it's just been a lot of that, man. Dangerous. It's definitely not just this assumed thing, right? They're traveling just like the rest of us to get there, and it can get a little scary for sure.
Yeah, so scary deal. Hopefully, just glad to hear everybody's okay. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Hopefully they can get a car back out to the racetrack and keep Chase Dietz in this thing, because I think he was knocking on the door of a win really soon. Obviously now with Logan really rolling with the 69K, it's gonna be tough because when he's rolling like this, he's the best there right now. So, but it should make everything pretty interesting. Also on Saturday night, there were 45 305s, and I got to give Port some credit here. Because when I heard this at the drivers' meeting, I was like, oh my God, we're going to be here forever. But both the 410s and the 305s were timed hot laps. So they would push the 4 cars out to the front stretch, push trucks behind them, and let them go do their timed hot laps. So you had between the 45 305s and the 23 410s that they had there, it was like 16, 17 flights of hot laps that were timed. But they went through them pretty quick. I thought we were going to be there forever. I think everything was still done by all 3 features, and everything was still done by like around 10:30. It wasn't bad at all. And The weather was also crazy because at one point you're looking at the turn 4, outside of turn 4, the back light of the pits, kind of like where like Lucas Wolf and them you would usually park all the way in that back corner. You look at me and Carmen Perigo, we're looking up at the lights, we're like, it's freaking pouring, but we're not that far away, and we weren't getting a drop on us. And it got a couple drops here and there throughout the night, but it didn't rain. And then as soon as I went over the bridge, leaving the track, you could tell it dumped. Everything was soaked, big puddles everywhere. So we just missed some rain all night long, really. But it was Ben Swagger says, I'm on the Zemco team. We will be back. So that's great to hear.
Awesome.
That's awesome to hear. You wonder when you see a truck like that, and everything in it, how much was really damaged inside the trailer. So, and that could take a while to get back together. But yeah, the 410 race, though, I thought was really fun. Track was in great shape. 305s, 45 of them. And Nick Swikert won that race. Green the checkered, no cautions. Really good racing, too, throughout the field. And then I'm going to try to play one more video. Hopefully it doesn't take us off. If it does, we'll be right back on. But got to play this one from the Sportsman race. Our buddy Brett Perigo leading the race.
They go.
Brett Perigo using that same line he used in the heat race, trying to work the middle side of the speedway. Trent Yoder trying to work to his inside. The leading lap number 1 is the 2A of Brett Perigo. Yoder back to the inside in turn 1, trying to hang with him and not let Perigo out of his sights.
Turn 2 Terribles are going rowdy. Favorite driver is Brett Perigo. Roll right through the middle off a turn.
So that was pretty cool. Thanks, Earl, for that shout out. It was pretty cool to hear that after the fact that somebody had said that to us. And
Earl Hoon's my favorite.
But yeah, Brett led the first. He ran really well in his heat.
6th a second, right?
6th a second in his heat. Started on the front row, drew the 2 next to Dylan Yoder. Was able to fight. Trent Yoder. Sorry. Yeah, we were just talking about Dylan Yoder.
There's 100 of them.
There's too many Yoders, man. And but I ended up getting the lead, and it was a fight. He led about the first 6 or 7 laps or so, and then Trent got around him, and then Brett fell back a little bit. He got out of the groove one corner and ended up letting Kurt Stroop get around him for a second, but he still finished 3rd. Shout out Brett Perigo. Looked really, really good. He's I think besides any races he had to park it for mechanical failures, he's finished top 5 in every feature he started this year. So shout out to him. He's knocking on the door to get a win, and I'm hoping that we're there for it when it happens.
Just not.
We're gonna burn it down when he does.
If he happens to win Friday, this coming Friday, we will not be there. We might burn Williams Grove Speedway down on his behalf. Fossil Fuels 35, 5,000 to win race. You're welcome, Tony.
But yeah, that was cool. And then thanks Earl for that shout out. But yeah,
I just want to know how he knew about that. I wonder. I don't know. Moving on.
Yeah. Any other thoughts for Port Royal? JC, you were there as well. That was your first race back since vacation.
Yeah, it was a good night. It was a lot of race cars. This feature ended up being better than it could have been because it was getting pretty bottom dominant. They did a little bit of magic to the racetrack and ended up being pretty top dominant to the very end. In fact, Mike Walter was running 3rd in this race and finished 5th in the last 2 laps. Heimbach and Mike Wagner both kind of got by on the bottom 3 and 4. The bottom really came back at the end. And then 305 race was bottom, and the Wingless Super Sportsman was bottom. So,
Wingless
Logan Wagner
always bottom there though. Anyway, they just don't have the.
Yeah, they don't. Well, except that one race, but
that one race when it was like real heavy.
They all
real heavy and had a curve. Yeah. The other Perigo got it done that night, but yeah, no, it was entertaining enough, and yeah, I enjoyed it. Cody Lehman, top 10 again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep shouting him out till he ends the streak. Like, I didn't look at his statistics at Port this year or in this season, but it's got to be career highs in top 5s and top 10s already. and it's July. So,
Yeah.
shout out there. Entertaining race. GMAC never really Wagner got to the lead and it looked like he was just going to run away, but he never really got super far away. I don't know. I think the top was starting to go away in 3 and 4. And it was getting really narrow up there, and Gerard started kind of coming off the wall and moving down a little, and he was keeping his momentum up. So really good run for them, I'm sure. I know Blaine Heimbach had a good night. He had a fast car all night long. So I'm sure he's feeling pretty good about that deal. So yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Aeronaut again. I think he was the hard charger. Good to see him
He
back.
Good to see him back. Yep.
And then Billy Dietrich making the trek up the port like we were talking about before. It was interesting. He got a P11 though. That was
the more he runs there, I think you're going to see that Sly Dog moving more to the top 5. But Mike Walter, he's also a guy knocking on the door.
Absolutely.
Top 5s here. Even when Winners Grove, he could have had that win a few weeks back. I think we're going to see him get his win soon, at least at Port Royal. That team, they're rolling good. So,
yep.
The 77, he was in the 77, correct? So,
yep.
Yeah, soon. The way he's tracking, I think he's gonna grab one.
That's about it for me on that one.
Yep, that's it. Real quick, we're going to go over the week that was with the World of Outlaws and High Limit, obviously with the Kings Royal. It started off with the Brad Doty Classic on Tuesday. David Gravel over Donnie Schatz, and that is the theme of the week, to be honest. This was David Gravel's week. Won there at Attica for the Brad Doty Classic over Donnie Schatz, Kyle Larson, Carson Macedo, and Corey Day in the top 5. Cale Thomas, your hard charger, plus 12. Wednesday night then moves to Eldora. The double down duels, a little bit of a different format. The first 2 nights were high limit, with the second night paying $100,000 to win. Logan Schuhart wins the first one over Donnie Schatz and Brad Sweet, Justin Peck, and Anthony Macri in the top 5. And then the second feature had Giovanni Selzy, Kyle Larson, Tyler Courtney, David Gravel, and Spencer Baston in the top 5. They ended up splitting the fields up. It was a cool little format, which ended up setting up for Thursday night, the Jokers jackpot, $100,000 to win, and an outlaw takes this one down. David Gravel over Donnie Schatz, Brad Sweet, Justin Peck, and Rico Abreu, top 5. Brett Marks 6th, Logan Schuhart 7th. And then Friday night is your night before the Kings Royal. Rico Abreu takes one back for the high limit guys over David Gravel, Logan Schuhart. Donnie Schatz plus 21. I heard that at Clinton County when this was going on, because somebody said he was started 25th and he was already up to 4th. And so plus 21, that was nuts. And then Tyler Courtney as well in the top 5. And then obviously the big $175,000 Kings Royal Crown Jewel event. Like I said, David Gravel over Donnie Schatz, who was plus 18. He was coming, but couldn't quite seal the deal on David Gravel. Justin Peck also plus 12 with a podium finish at the Kings Royal. Awesome job for him. Logan Schuhart, Jacob Allen, Shark Racing 4th and 5th. And then shout out Emerson Axum, P6, in his first Kings Royal. That was pretty awesome. So was watching these events on and off. Obviously, we're at the racetrack Friday and Saturday. The rest of the week kind of had some other stuff going on, but was checking in on some stuff. Anything to you guys that stood out from any of these events?
Yes. A few things from this one. The other ones, okay, they're important. They're big. It's the Kings Royal. Kyle Larson, Brad Sweet, Corey Day, no, Carson Macedo.
Nope.
Right? Not there. Didn't make it. Who did make it? Cole Macedo, Cy Lynch, Landon Brooks, Landon Crawley, Skylar G, Hunter Schoenberg, all in the A main. This is every lap matters, Jimmy. Okay.
Yeah, when you could pass.
This is a difficult field, but this is 2 years in a row that Brad Sweet hasn't made this race. I believe I've now I read.
I believe that's correct.
But year after year after year, it doesn't matter. The best cars make this race. They do. They just do. They figure it out. They find a way. They get it done. Barring some anomaly, big wreck, like Macedo had a big wreck, whatever. But you just don't see them not qualify. It just doesn't happen, right? They figured out whether it's through the heat race to come through. They figured out in the B main, run the soup. They get it done. This was shocking to me. Not just who did make it, but who didn't make it. But it allowed guys like Landon Brooks. I don't even know who Landon Brooks is. I follow the racing like everybody else. I don't even know who this guy is. He went out there and good for him. Like, that's not knocking the guy. Like, holy shit, I'm going to look it up and figure out who this guy is. But good for him, like all the way around. So that was really what it is for me. Just a shocking who did make it and who didn't make it.
Right. And same piggyback off that. It's why I love these big events and no provisionals, because if you had provisionals and those guys all get in, we don't even get to talk about the Landon Brooks, the Landon Crawleys, because you're going to talk about Larson and Sweet driving through the field or whatever it may be, because they're going to get there and they're still going to rise to the top because they're still the best sprint car drivers in the country. But I love the no provisionals, and I love these formats that make those guys have to earn it. If you miss it, tough shit, right? Like, that's part of it. That makes these races hard to win. It makes Knoxville hard to win. It sucks for those guys, but I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, agreed.
Parker Price Miller here started third. I guess he wrecked on the first lap. I didn't see any of this feature. I Chris'd it up a little bit on this one. I didn't see it. But I was watching the B main, and Brad Sweet was right there. Just couldn't quite make the final pass. I think, what was the B main? It was it was weird. Hunter Schoenberg, Cole Macedo, Landon Crawley, I think.
And Donnie Schatz, right?
Brady Bacon. No, it was Schoenberg, Cole Macedo, Spencer Baston, and Brady Bacon. Those were the top four that made it out. And Kyle Larson, Giovanni Scelzi, Brad Sweet, Carson Macedo all missed the feature. Pretty nuts. But yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes.
You'll have that in big time auto racing.
You will. Gio Scelzi, was it Gio Scelzi that flipped? Yeah, he was leading. Was it Wednesday? It was Thursday night.
Yes.
And wrecked while leading, just kind of jumped over kind of the curb leading on a restart and junked it. Right after
Jacob
restart.
Allen was coming through the field the one night, car wouldn't start.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things like that. But you'll have those kind of storylines. We've seen that at the Nationals. You know, some guy having a great week, and all of a sudden, boom, it goes away. They move up through the field, and at halfway, they have a tire go down. Like, you've seen these things happen. It's part of it. It's absolutely part of it. Was it Sheldon? Sheldon, they said someone posted about they had a tiny little hole in the tire, and that's what cost them $100,000. Like, this is part of it. That's of the
motor racing.
It's not just you do everything right, then you got to have some luck on your side, you know? So
motor racing, man. That's why we love it.
Tyler says, then Larson goes out and wins a minor league race at the Brickyard on Sunday.
I saw that on X today. That was clever.
Yeah, that's wild. So yeah, that was really any Bill Balog's slip was pretty bad.
That was scary.
There was a lot of anger and criticism about that frame going around on, if you're in the sprint car world at all, on Twitter, you know, because it should not, you know, theoretically should not shear off the way it did. But that whole back end just tore right off. Wild wreck. Good to see he was okay. He's tore up a lot of equipment this year too. Anthony Macri. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Social media stuff, right? It's like I'd say if I saw 100 comments about that, there weren't any good ones, and very few were from people that actually race. It's all us. It's all a bunch of people who think we know better.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't do that. Well, no shit. So now the job is to find out why I did.
Right. And that's what should be happening by people who are involved in the sport and who are educated and are working in the sport and actually looking into it and trying to figure it out. Everyone assumes things. And I don't think that car should not have done that. That should not have happened.
Right.
But everybody who's the couch racers are at home going, oh, blah, 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 just spouting off with their freaking keyboards, don't know a damn thing. That's what I saw of it. And that's sprint car racing, but I kind of hate it. I mean, you don't know shit.
So annoying.
You know?
I'm with Jeremy on this one.
Yeah.
I hate it. Anyway, moving on.
The whole way safety advances happen is because something happened that shouldn't have.
Right.
And then you look into it and you figure out a way to fix it. But yeah, Anthony Macri had a great week. really looked pretty decent at Eldora. Not necessarily up there for the win, but he was with the fast guys. He was like a borderline top 10 guy all weekend. When you're there with 60 some cars, the best in the country, and you're a borderline top 10 guy in the biggest race of the year, you're on to something. So good for him. Good run for Brent Marks. He's always strong there. Emerson Axum, I think, for me, was the biggest standout from the whole week. He's looking better and better every time he makes a start out in that win car, and he's really starting to show it.
The best thing for Anthony Macri was he got the race this year.
Yeah.
He showed up when the hauler was leaving, huh?
Good job,
Good
buddy.
idea.
That helps.
All right, let's move on to this week. Big week coming up here in Central PA. BAPS Motor Speedway Wednesday night. Well, before we get into that, I don't have it on here, but high limit. Is it the Don Martin?
Yes.
Is it the Don Martin? I know it's
Kubota High Limit Silver Don Martin Silver Cup tomorrow, 25,000.
Because I know they have two weekends here. I didn't know if it was the one later in the year, but it is this.
Yeah,
it is tomorrow night. It's High Limit's last race, by the way. Foreshadowing. High Limit's last race tomorrow night until after the Knoxville National. So they got a couple weeks off. So it's going to be interesting to see some of those guys coming in here to BAPS on Wednesday. And obviously the rescheduled Morgan Cup on Friday at Williams Grove. And then obviously the Summer Nationals on Saturday. Let's start with BAPS. Hopefully weather holds up. Midweek race. This was very successful last year, even though it rained and they went to the next day. But good car count, good fan count. What are you guys looking for from BAPS?
I mean, I'll go. I'm not going to be there, but I think it might be the race of the week. You, Jeremy. It's going to be probably the race of the week, and I'm going to take a hot take. I think Troy Wagaman wins this race. He's been good at BAPS. He timed well with the Outlaws there last year. That team, they're there, and I think he's ready. And I think if obviously he's going to need the time well and a good pill, but hot take: Troy Wagaman beats the Outlaws Wednesday night.
Jeremy?
I think whoever wins Thursday night, probably. Because I mean, based on what today's weather was around here, and it's supposed to be the same for 3 days, 4 days. I don't know. But if it does that, there's no racing going on.
If this race happens Thursday, I'll be there.
There we go. See, the racing gods love you, Chris.
If it happens Thursday, I'll also be there.
What I want to know is Kyle Larson going to announce he's going to be there? Is he not going to be there? Are we going to have a social media battle again? And him look like a douchebag? Look like a douchebag again?
To announce it.
Yeah. Some random Twitter account that everybody follows until they're wrong, and then it's not their fault when they're wrong. No. Like, are we going to do this again? Because that would be fun again. Because I don't give a shit who I criticize. He was wrong, and he looked like an idiot for it. But anyway.
He was very fired up about this last year, fellas.
Yes.
Very fired up. And I'm still pissed off about it because it was bullshit. Anyway, this weekend, I think you may not see a posse driver have a podium.
Oof.
I inclined to agree. I think we get
Anthony Macri, maybe, right? Because he's so good at BAPS. Danny's really good at BAPS. But that's their best chance to have anybody on the podium all weekend, in my opinion. And I'm not being a hater. I'm posse as it gets.
I'm with you.
I'm posse as it gets, but boy, am I.
I think we get our dick kicked in this week, I think.
I'm struggling with seeing how. I don't know, man. You know what? You know who's our best bet? You know who's our best hope at Williams Grove?
Darren Pittman.
Chad Trout.
Well,
he can qualify. He time trials well. He finished second at
I put Troy. I put Troy above Trout.
Stop it, Chad. I love Chad Trout, but come on, the best. He's the cavalry that comes in to support Danny and Freddie missing the feature.
I'm just saying. He made the dash at Lincoln. He finished second at Mitch Smith to Macri and in front of Marks. Brett will be in here this weekend, Friday, Saturday. It's on his schedule, among some other high limit for the Friday and Saturday. There's just a lot going on. I don't know.
I'm not trading teams.
I'm not trading teams. I'm just trying to be realistic.
I will die on this hill.
Prepare
We're
for
gonna
the
win.
letdown.
Sweep. Posse sweep.
Oh my God!
Did you see David Gravel though, this past week? And he's coming in. He's rolling in hot.
Screw David Gravel.
I could see him taking 2 of these 3.
No, I don't believe it.
He won the Bricker Bash last year.
I don't care about your truth.
Listen, I know, man. I don't want to say it either.
I'm not
but
doing
I'm
it.
telling you.
Troy's winning Wednesday. We're gonna do it. Freddy's gonna win Friday. Get wrecked.
All right, so all right. Who
Let's
are
get real now.
Let's talk
mute him?
let's just talk strictly BAPS. Let's take the posse, high limit, outlaw, otherwise. Who are your top 5 favorites for BAPS? Obviously, we're gonna have David Gravel.
That's sweet. He won't be there.
I don't know if he'll be there.
He won't be there.
Anthony Macri.
Anthony Macri for sure. Those are your 2. Brett Marks.
Brett will not
be there.
He won't be there.
So
it's not on his schedule, and he is stuck to his schedule. That
it's
was
going to be Gravel, Shots, Macedo.
BAPS.
Yes, Macedo, Jacob Allen.
Shield.
If he's there, Jeremy's going to freak the fuck out.
On Shield, Logan Schuhart. Those are my 5. I have 4 outlaws.
I got carried away. I meant Troy Wagaman, Danny Dietrich, Anthony Macri, Jacob Allen, Logan Schuhart.
I think Troy has a good weekend. I think he's going to be in the top 10. I don't know.
Tyler's on my side. Let's go.
I'm hoping he has a shot to win. I'm straight up, but
Tyler actually has my list. I like Tyler's list.
Just saying how some of these outlaw guys are rolling, man. They're going to be really hard to beat.
Yeah, Larson's not going to be around. They're going out of town. NASCAR's 2 weeks off. Everybody's leaving. So Gravel, Dietrich, Macri, Macedo. And Shots, because Donnie's really good everywhere right now. I don't know if BAPS is like, I don't know, but I'll take Shots as number 5 there, just because he's been so good right now and lately. If he can get a time trial lap in, he's going to be a factor. That's my 5.
Gravel, Macri, Macedo. I'm going to go Giovanni Selzy. He's been running fast, just if he can keep it upright. And I'll go Sheldon Haudenschild. I'm going to take those 5. Logan Schuhart. No, I'm going to take Logan Schuhart over
I knew you weren't leaving Sheldon in there.
Yeah, there's no shot.
You're the biggest Sheldon hater ever.
I'm leader of the Sheldon Hogg fan club. Thank you very much. All right. So that's BAPS. Hopefully to get everything in. They first race back, what the Outlaws was last year. Hoping for a good success this year. Hopefully the weather does hold off. Hopefully the weather forecast changes a little bit. It's going to be kind of dodgy with some thunderstorms, it looks like, but it could be enough. Let's see. A couple here, like Tyler said, DD, Macri, Gravel, Macedo, Wagman. And then Marie says Gravel, Shots, Schuhart, Geo bounce back, and DD. I think that's fair. Yeah, of course, Chase Dietz, Dark Horse. Yeah, so let's go into then Williams Grove, Friday and Saturday, and the weather looks perfect for these 2 days. Lucky them. The Morgan Cup rescheduled from early in the year when it got rained out now pays $17,000 to win. It was $12,000 to win, plus they're adding a $5,000 Morgan Cup bonus. So this race pays damn near as much as Saturday night. Go ahead.
By the way, did you see the bonus posted for BAPS if a posse member wins?
No.
Yeah. Hold on. Tyler's probably going to say this before I get to it. BAPS. I saw it today, and I don't think I knew. Where are we at here? Where are we at? Oh, not there. Okay. 12,000 to win, $300 hard charger. There it is. Oh, shoot. It says 12,000 when a PE Posse beats the Outlaws. Thank you to Brickers French Fries for partnering with us to pay out 12,000 when Posse. Oh, never mind. They're foreshadowing the Posse beats the Outlaws. It's 12 to win. Never mind. Move on.
Troy's getting the money anyway.
Maybe Tyler into something.
Troy just wants the sub. He doesn't care about the 12 grand.
That's true.
This is from 10 hours ago. Williams Grove said 12,000 to win plus $5,000 Morgan Cup bonus and fireworks on Friday, and then $20,000 to win on Saturday. Not 25,000 and fireworks. So, maybe Tyler does something we don't. Maybe there's going to be an extra 5,000 coming in somewhere, but that's what their last social media post said was 20,000. So hey, I was right.
Tyler's putting up the extra $5,000.
Hell yeah! I hear.
Getting deep.
I hear Tyler is going to put up an extra 5,000.
Yeah, Tyler's Racing Roundup. Additional $5,000 sponsor.
How nice of you, Tyler.
We'll call the track now. Thanks, man. That's generous of you.
But yeah, so Friday night, Morgan Cup rescheduled. I think Posse Tyler's raising 5,000. Yeah, I'm going into Grandview. Morgan Cup Friday night. I think this goes to the Outlaws. Sorry, buddy.
No, I'm dying on this hill. That's fine.
Is it possible the gravel could get first and second somehow? I mean, I'm just saying.
If that happens, I will not be here next Monday.
Give me gravel, Macri, Macedo. And that's the posse that I said wouldn't make it, but I'm going to try to be hopeful. I learned a wise man once told me hope is not a strategy, but that's all we got right now is hope, I think. So, yeah, that's my top three.
Thank you, Tyler. David Gravel spitting Stevie Smith out. Still not over it. We talking top 5 Friday or for both? Or
let's talk top 5 Friday, sure. I mean, might as well go for both because I don't think there's going to be a difference between the two nights.
You're probably right.
Oh, there will be. I only did 3, so shut up. 4th, give me Brent, and then 5th. 5th, I'd take. Sheldon.
I don't want to see. I could see Sheldon. Before I do my top 5, what high limit guys do we think do show up? Whether it's the BAPS or Williams Grove or both.
Marks, Allen, Baston, at least.
Maybe?
Yeah, I think those 3 for sure. Maybe Zebwise.
They've come in. I don't know.
He's won at Williams Grove before. He's been pretty good.
Peck, I would think.
Yeah. I don't think we see Brad Sweet. He hasn't really run anything outside of high limit unless it was a big money race.
He's kind of a busy guy.
But, I mean, they're off until Knoxville, and they're in the area. I wouldn't be surprised.
He's kind of allergic to Williams Grove, except for that one time he won.
I don't know. He's won a couple times now, right? He's won 2 times.
I don't know what's going on the West Coast, but do like Corey Day.
Tyler says 49-9 should be there. Rico,
right? I mean, I'd like to see Corey Day come in, run BAPS, and run Williams Grove. I think that'd be cool. I'd be all in for that. But I hear he's going asphalt.
Going NASCAR. Yeah, he's ARCA.
Yeah, he's going to be doing the ARCA race at
Knoxville for Wise.
Wherever ARCA
Salem.
is. So
Salem,
that's it. Yeah. So it won't be Corey Day, but I believe, I do think Baston, Marks, Rico, maybe Justin Peck has a car to drive, gets a ride because it's not going to be the 13. That car is a high limit car. They've announced it and they've stuck to it. If he's raced something else, it's been.
Maybe he gets in that 20. Something, I don't know. Or what about Hefner South? Will they put somebody in the car?
Yeah, they are, but I don't know if it's ready. I know they're getting it ready. I don't know when that's gonna go down or what's gonna happen there.
Tyler Courtney?
Yeah, Sunshine is one that I didn't put on my list at BAPS, but I will if I know he's going to be there.
Yeah.
He'd be in one of my top 5.
I was going to say, and Rico goes into a top 5 for me.
Rico's
at BAPS
going
if
to
he's
Knoxville.
Rico will be at Knoxville, so there you go. You can take him right out. Right in and right out.
There you go. I guess we'll have to wait and see for some others. But I think Mark's Baston, Allen for sure. Friday, Saturday, and maybe Allen and Baston on Wednesday. I know Brent does not have that on his schedule, so I don't expect to see Brent on Wednesday. But for the weekend, I think all 3, and then who else? We'll see who else. So
yeah, we'll see. I think because I do think there are a couple high limit guys that could really play into a mix, and when we're talking about a top 5 here, obviously Marks is one. Rico definitely another, but if he's going to Knoxville, then there goes that. A Baston, as though he's been really running strong lately. I don't know if I necessarily put him in a top 5 favorite, but he's been running pretty well lately. He could be like a dark horse type of guy to run up there. Yeah, I think Williams Grove I think Donnie Schatz is my favorite for one of these two. I think Donnie Schatz definitely brings one down. He's been so fast.
It's been a while since he's won a Williams Grove Outlaw race. It's been a little while.
It's been a while. And speaking of that, I put up this here, little past winners of the past 10 years of the Summer Nationals.
Oh, look at you.
I know why he has it here. Go ahead, Jimmy. Go on the list. I know why you made this list.
No, this isn't why.
Why.
I legitimately just wanted. That is funny, but yeah. I don't think we get 50 cars this weekend, Tyler. No, I think we get I could see 40. I don't see 50. Logan Schuart, Rico Abreu took the 2 dates down last year. Brad Sweet, Lance DeWeese in the 69K the year before. Brett Marks and Sheldon Hansfield the year before that. In 2021, 2020 was David Gravel and Shane Stewart in the 71. He was in the 71 there for a little bit. 2019, Donnie Schatz and Tim Schaefer. 2018 was Lance DeWeese. 2017 was Greg Hodnett when it was rescheduled later in September, and Brock Zierfoss when he was in the 58 when he got his first Outlaw win.
There it is.
Lance DeWeese and Darren Pittman the year before that. 2015 was Stevie Smith and Danny Dietrich, and then the year before that was Lance DeWeese and Greg Hodnett. Somebody that we haven't talked about, and I think maybe we should not sleep on too much. Lance DeWeese.
I was going to put him in my top 5, but you didn't let me talk.
You were not going to put him in the top 5.
Absolutely, my top 5.
That is bullshit.
Correct. I was not. I didn't sell out like you.
But he's a guy that can, we're not putting maybe in the posse conversation enough. We know the 12.
Pittman racing?
That's my understanding from what I read.
Yeah, I think that was the deal, was he was going to run. They're running Knoxville, both the 360 and 410 Nationals.
And they're running all the Outlaw shows at the Grove.
And they're running all the Outlaw shows at Williams Grove.
Can't believe he's not going to be a factor. I can't imagine he's not.
Yeah, I think he will.
He's posse. He's on this list. So.
Also, shout out Williams Grove Speedway's website for this. I did not put this together. Williams Grove put it together. I just screenshotted it. They made my life easy, so thank you.
I want to know why they have in 2023, 2014, 15, 16, 17, they put both in the same little thing, and then all the other years in the same year, they separated them.
I don't know.
And in 2023, they put them together again. Why does that bother me so much?
I don't know. You should
2018 was just one race.
2017 you completed till the National Open. How about that?
But 20, 21, and 22, they put little lines through, and it was the same weekend. Why did they not put it? Oh, it bothers me.
Because the Outlaws won until Brent Marks. I don't know. It's made up.
You did. A good try, though.
I was trying.
This was the race last year to when Rico climbed the Beer Hill fence.
And this is the race last year that Logan went by Brad Sweet and turned forward. Nobody knew what the hell happened.
Jesus.
Everybody was going nuts in the stands. I'm walking toward Victory Lane in the infield. I'm like, why the hell is there so many people cheering for Brad Sweet? Like, who gives a shit? Not saying like Brad Sweet, but like we wouldn't. And I'm like, that's a white car that went by, and freaking Logan wins the race. And like, the place went nuts, and he went in down the backstretch like 8 car lengths behind Sweet. It was crazy.
I don't know.
You're not the only one bothered by it.
Mandy gets it.
Brad says it's because of budget cuts. They couldn't.
Budget cuts.
Brady Baldwin says, "Will Macedo bounce back after a subpar Eldora?" And I do. I think he's been pretty good here in PA. I could see him winning one of these two for sure. I'm not putting him in my top 3 favorites, but he's definitely right there in the top 5. McFadden probably would be there. He's always run really well at Williams Grove. He almost won a damn national open in the Highlands car. Yeah, so I could see him here, and if McFadden's there, I think he's borderline top 5 for me as well. He's really good there, and that car has been rolling. I would love to see that, to be honest. But yeah, I think Danny's good for a top 10. Macri should factor in for a win, but other than that, I don't know any. Troy would probably be the only other one I would put in as a factor to be battling up front at Williams Grove, unfortunately, just because there's so many good cars coming in.
Danny
And the Outlaws are rolling right now. I mean, we were talking all year about High Limit versus the Outlaws, and was a lot of like the Outlaws were kind of taking a back seat to High Limit, and then this week they kind of just shoved their dick out there and said, "Hey, we are still the Outlaws," and kind of smacked everybody around a little bit. Buddy Kofoid, I don't put in there, even though he's good. I don't really put Buddy in there. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I'm just trying to read some of these comments. I think this is Danny and Freddie finally show up. Danny did it. He won the Wildcard. Macri's been fast. I claim Brent Marks. I don't care what the people think. He's posse. There's a fighting shot. And whoever does win for the posse, place is going to burn down. Can't wait. Oh, here we go. Twitch, always. I don't know.
Yes,
I'm excited for it.
There was a doubleheader last year makeup. Brent Marks won the first one, and Brad Sweet won the makeup, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it was, I can't remember. It was a big event, and then the makeup. Yeah, it was the Natty, right? Exactly what it was. Brent won the Natty, and then Brad Sweet won the makeup. So, no, Tyler, we just talked about Pittman. Definitely going to be a factor based on his last time there, and just dominated and had just blazing speed. So, time trials, guys. It's time trials because it's going to be hard to pass. So you got to start in the top 6 to even have a shot.
I'd be happy. I shouldn't say happy.
That'd be good.
I can live with if it was like a Pittman Donnie Schatz weekend. If they won the 2 races, I could be happy.
Think about this. Think about if we end up with a top 3 of Pittman, Schatz, and Deweese at some point. Somehow.
That'd be so sick, dude.
Historic.
That would be pretty sick.
That'd be so cool. That'd be so dope. I'd be here for it. I don't care in what order. That'd be so cool.
If Lance Deweese does win either one of these races, you better believe it's getting burned down. I'm going to burn it down.
Jimmy.
Yes, I'm going to burn it down.
Especially if we get word that Brett Perigo won at Big Diamond during this. That's all my thoughts on it. I think it's going to be a good weekend. We'll be there.
I
out there.
If is anybody but David Gravel for me at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
He just had a good enough week. Don't spoil our party.
Yeah. T2T camp out this weekend?
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, I don't know where exactly we're going to be at Williams Grove, but me and Chris are going to be camped out. We're going to have maybe a little tailgate action. So maybe we'll post it on social media if people want to stop by, have a beer, maybe have a burger and a hot dog, and
bring some beer. Just bring some beer.
Jeremy's going to get wrecked in cornhole,
and maybe go-kart racing. Who knows?
Yeah, his own cornhole boards.
Yeah, it's Tyler Shell's 21st birthday, so we got to show him a good time when he is there. I'm excited for this weekend. Camping out at Williams Grove is always a great time, and
anytime we're all together.
The only thing I'm kind of like, it's just like the racing to me is secondary this upcoming weekend because I know we're gonna get our dick kicked in as posse. But hey, maybe I'm setting the bar low and shit.
I'm not changing.
Think about this. Like I said, I would be thrilled with a Donnie Schatz Darren Pittman weekend. What if Troy wins one of these 2?
Dude.
Oh,
Oh my God.
It better be Saturday because we're not going to be able to come back if it's Friday.
I don't know what I would do.
Oh,
I'm
my
not
God.
sure. I'm not going to say what I'm going to do though, because I'm going to end up drinking out of a damn shoe again or something.
Or a cone.
Or a cone. We're bringing a cone. So.
Oh, we're going to drink out of a traffic cone?
We're going to
It's
drink
Kim's
out of a
traffic cone.
Hey, if y'all want to have a drink out of a traffic cone, come see us at Williams Grove.
If you're urging to drink out of a traffic cone,
when
come
Troy
find
wins,
us. When Troy wins.
We'll
be
flashing
shotgunning
glasses.
beers. We'll be
We'll have
doing
flashing
some
glasses.
liquor. We'll find something, and you probably want to bring the state police because Chris or myself will probably get arrested.
All right, here we go. Okay, there's not that many people watching this. Okay, so hopefully only a few remember that I said
just
this.
the feds.
If the Outlaws get shut out of the podium all weekend at the Grove, if that happens, I don't have a tattoo. I don't have a single tattoo.
Oh
on my body.
no! Don't do this. Don't do it. Don't do it.
If the Outlaws get shut out of the podium all weekend,
that's Friday, Saturday, or Wednesday, Friday,
the
Saturday.
weekend. That is Wednesday a fucking weekend, Chris?
I just trying to make
He's
sure we're
talking
clear.
Friday, Saturday at Williams.
Chris, the races you might attend. Okay, the races you might attend. I know.
I'm just trying to close the loopholes for you.
A tattoo, a PA Posse tattoo.
Don't do it.
I will get a PA Posse tattoo if
Where?
the Outlaws get shut out all weekend at the Grove.
Where?
Hell yeah. I don't think that'll.
Now I get to choose where. Okay.
No, you get to choose. I'm asking you where.
Will the traffic cone be provided for us, or do we have to bring our own? So
no, we have it.
We will have it
one
provided, and we got
from a source that we don't name.
Yeah, don't worry about where it came from. So
Yeah,
this
don't
kind
ask
of got
questions.
inspired because when we were at Pocono on Saturday night during the infield block party, there was a group from Canada. They came all the way from Ottawa, and they were like, "Hey, you want to sign our traffic cone?" Like, sure. He's like, "Well, you got to drink a beer out of it first." So we're gonna bring that same energy to Williams Grove. Why not?
Boy.
I don't know.
Now Jay-Z's gonna get a tattoo.
Jay-Z's gonna get a
Outlaws
tattoo.
get swept.
So let's go.
I cannot wait until Saturday night if we happen to get a sweep on Friday and the lineups like the top 6 are Posse members. Seeing the sweat rolling off his face.
He's gonna be
worth it. No,
you start cheering for Gravel to get the third for. Thank God.
You become the biggest
Worth
David
it.
Gravel fan in PA.
Yeah, worth it. No, worth it.
So I'm excited. I really hope the Posse do. Hey. Oh God. And you wonder where COVID came from.
Not from Canada, Brad.
Not from Canada, not from a traffic cone.
I'm still talking.
I think I've seen things. But what else we got, Jimmy? We're almost done here, right?
Yeah, I guess any other thoughts from Summer Nationals upcoming weekend? I'm really excited for. We're gonna have a great time. Jay-Z's gonna go take care of his children.
So I learned this thing from you. This is a real nugget. We talking about this at Pocono?
No, this is.
So we talking about this at Pocono. Well, now my daughter's doing it. So thank you for that.
It's not my fault. I never did that.
I learned it from you.
When did I ever do this?
I do not know, but
I'll
you're
do
being blamed
this.
for it.
I'll do this, but I never do this, dude.
You're getting blamed. Carry on.
Final closing thoughts from Summer Nationals preview.
Randy, let's not let it get out of hand here, Randy. No shot, buddy.
That's
good Lord.
Honestly, more in line than
who needs friends when I got friends like you guys? I mean, let's be honest. Jeez.
To be fair, Steph's gonna clip it. We told you no.
Clip it.
No, I got no more thoughts. It's gonna be a good weekend. Can't wait.
No, I can't wait. It's gonna be a good time. Great weather, hopefully. Hopefully, BAPS gets in as well. I know it's a big weekend, big show for them. Honestly, and I just throwing this out there. I would love to see if, God forbid, BAPS got rained out Wednesday and Thursday. Put that shit on Sunday. Put it on Sunday. Make it a Sunday afternoon 4:00 race. Come on, dude. Let's go.
Wrong.
Don't let.
I forgot. I won't be there Thursday. So I like Jimmy's idea better. I can't be there Thursday.
Okay, then
Sunday.
Then the tattoo bet carries into that's the weekend. If that goes to Sunday, then
we know the Outlaws. They won't do that, but it looks great Saturday or on Sunday too. So if something did happen, I would love to see the BAPS still get
Yeah.
their race somehow.
And if that
not
ends up
get fully
happening,
in.
you heard it here first. T2T ideas.
Yes.
Hashtag
And-
T2T ideas
Oh,
segment.
nope.
Oh,
They're at
And
Weed Sport. I forgot about
the
that.
That's
dream
right.
is
Thank you.
dead.
That's why we love Tyler.
And
we come
why
out
we
with
hate
the
T2T.
ideas and he shoots them down.
and why we hate the Outlaws.
Hashtag T2T stupid ideas.
Hashtag
Hey,
cancel
Refer to the
Weed
traffic
Sport.
cone.
Hashtag make it BAPS.
Hey, drink it or dump it, and let's get out of here.
Yeah. Real quick. Sportsman this
No.
weekend. Just real quick, $5,000 to win at Big Diamond. That's a big race for them. I hear some USAC East Coast guys might be jumping into some Sportsmen. Didn't hear that from me. So big race for them. $1,500 to win. Also, Super Sportsman race at BAPS with 358 sprints, and then also the wingless Path Valley sprint Sportsman on Saturday. Make sure to tune in the Rowan podcast on Thursday with Tony. He will have Adam Ecken and Trent Yoder on. I'm assuming as long as BAPS doesn't get pushed to Thursday, because if not,
There's
he will be
another
at BAPS.
Edkin?
There is another Edkin, and he
Holy
wins.
shit.
He wins as well. How about
Are there
it?
more Edkins or Yoders? Let's be honest.
Yoders? There's definitely way more Yoders. But yeah, let's go. Oh, Danny Dietrich running Hagerstown in a super late model on Sunday. How about that one? I did see some of the video of him testing out. So that should be interesting. I know Lance DeWeese just did that a couple years ago, and it's cool to see Danny do that. Maybe we'll see him in the late model a little bit more. Drink it, dump it. I think obviously before we even get into that, cheers and everything to Riley Emig and his family, and obviously hope on a lesser note, hopefully the Zemco team's all feeling okay. Obviously those are the two big ones, so kind of wanted to leave it out of this part. Agreed. That's kind of just a blanket thing. So drink it, dump it. Put yours in the chat. Who wants to go first?
I can. Drink it. Garrett Bard. That's a big win for him. First career 410 win is always special. Tyler Rutherford, top 10 in his 358 there, Clinton County. So good for him. I'll drink it to that. Dump it. Chad Trout definitely tore one up. Sounds like pretty bad there. Saw another Doug Hamaker tore one up at Lincoln, his 358, pretty bad. Saw that. But I think an easy dump it is the Zemco deal. I'm still going to put it out there. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Certainly not ideal. I will dump it to the health of Tyler Shell this weekend if we get a hold of him, because he may not see racing Saturday night. He may not get to the racetrack. He may be sleeping in the field outside of turn 3 and 4 or off the backstretch there. He may be sleeping in a field. So dump it to his health this weekend. That's all I got.
Go, Chris.
I was going to say dump it for you two haters saying the posse is not going to do well. So screw you guys. And drink it up to this week. It's going to be fun. I mean, David Gravel, I'll have to drink it to him. Props to him for the week that he had. Kind of showed maybe even if Bradstreet was still an outlaw, he'd still beat him. Kind of sets tone. He's not a lead outlaw guy, and he showed up and did it right with Donnie shots. So drink to those guys and dump it for you two losers for rooting against us.
I'm gonna drink it to Clinton County. Fantastic night on Friday night. I am excited to get back there for not only USAC East Coast but also on August 10th for the Phil Walter race. I think that'll be great. Get there if you can. I know it's a little bit out of the ways for some people, but man, the racing there is fantastic. And a cool little facility. Obviously, Garrett Bard for getting that win. That was pretty cool to see. He didn't just win; he dominated all night. Honestly, he was probably he was the fastest car. So, so shout out to him. Dump it.
Oh, I missed one.
Dump it. Dump it, Brett Perigo for not winning on Saturday, giving up the lead. He had a good ride, but
bum ass put a used ass tire on. It was no good from the start.
That thing was bald as shit. But
What an idiot.
I know he ran really well. He's got all of his motor woes and everything straightened out. He's running really, really well. He's knocking on the door for the win. I really thought it was going to be on Saturday. Unfortunately, it wasn't. But
Jimmy's in possession of my winter shirt.
What was that?
Don't worry about it. And I don't want him to get us canceled.
Marie goes, dump at the 17 cars at Lincoln. I can get down with that. Christopher Knoll, drink at the NASCAR back Indy Oval. Aaron Bollinger, 2 wins in a row. Dump at the Chad Trout on Saturday night, 2 bad flips and 2 weeks with the Indy cars. 2 bad flips in 2 weeks. Yeah,
2 weeks with the Indy cars. Yeah.
William Wagaman says, drink at the Jay-Z gets the tattoo. And then dump it for NASCAR, bowing out for 2 weeks for the Olympic schedule. Boo-hoo.
They're not sad about it. None of them are upset about the 2-week break.
I think midsummer breaks are as long as they're coordinated. Not every motorsport does it at the same time. I think it's a good idea in general. Race, especially you're racing like 36 weeks a year, man. But yeah, I guess I don't know. Anybody excited for the Olympics?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. To see the next huge disappointing USA men's basketball loss. How do these clowns almost lose to South Sudan? You got the best players in the entire world. They beat South Sudan by a point, and they had to come back from like 8 tonight to beat Germany. Like, what are they doing?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They had to pull a fourth quarter comeback to beat freaking Germany. What are they doing, bro? How could they be so shitty?
I don't know if they're going that hard though either, because it's not really time to turn it on yet.
They really should stop watching the men's soccer team and figure it out.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, but at least they have talent. The men's soccer team is just shitty. Okay,
it's true.
They have like one and a half good players. Okay,
the American football team's losing to Canada, so what the hell?
That's like teenagers, and they don't even know what they're doing. It doesn't matter. Okay, I had another drink. It just real quick. A shout out, BAPS Motor Speedway. They somehow had enough resources and got enough shit done to have a new racetrack, one of the first racetracks in many years to open in Central PA. They pulled it off somehow. They obviously goal was May. It's July, guys, and their goal was to be ready in May. They had so many hiccups and hurdles and things that were out of their control happen. A lot of equipment for a long time. They couldn't even get light poles. They could not get a light pole to put a light on a pole. So a lot of things came together very last minute that last week. The infrastructure, and then put it all together enough that they could hold a race. A lot of things to improve on, a lot of things to get better for sure. Over 100 micros showed up for that event. It's the inaugural event of the racetrack. Look forward to big things from that, and them getting everything figured out between track infrastructure, race format, flow of the event, officiating, all of that stuff. There is no preseason in that, and in fact, they didn't have much more than a week, really. And I guess they got a car or two on the track, maybe a couple days ahead of time. I don't know, just to do something. But they put it together with what they had to even hold an event is nothing short of astounding from everything that we watched. So shout out BAPS, and excited for August 2nd. I think I am going to take my son to his first ever race August 2nd at BAPS at the micro track. If there are stands, we'll see if there's general admission stands there. It sounds like that was a bit of an issue getting stands in place and, having them safe and whatever that. I'm sure there's some things that I don't know. I don't know enough about that, but if there are stands there, me and the little guy are going to take him to his first race August 2nd. Nice. So looking forward to that. So I wanted to give them a quick shout out for the task that they pulled off in the last few hours, basically a few days to get that place ready.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see. They still have some work to do, obviously, but they have a great base there, and they go big with everything, so that's cool to see. Marie Beasley says drink it to Gregory's at Clinton. Tyler says drink it Asher Capetta winning a heat at Lincoln, and Mike Bittinger winning feature, the 358 feature at Lincoln. Dump it to Samuel Miller and Doug Hamaker junking cars in the 358 feature. Lots of tore up equipment, unfortunately. Mandy says, drink it. Garrett Bard winning at Clinton County. Logan Wagner going 3 in a row at Port. Dump it. DD flip during his heat at Lincoln on the 13th. Baylog and Selzy flips. And obviously Zemko and Riley Emig. Randy Kopp, drink it. Bollinger 2 in a row. Ben Swager says, can't wait for Big Diamond 410 Sprint Show on August 9th. That's true. August 10th is Clinton County, but then also that Friday, Big Diamond has a 410 race. So that should be pretty cool. That's Knoxville weekend. So we'll see what kind of, but usually you get like 25, 30 cars because guys are still around. Matt says, drink at the turn. Oh, Chris, you were supposed to bring this up when we were talking about Lincoln.
I was. I thought you were. Either way, yeah. So turn 4 raised hard charger money. Let me get that note. $666 for the 410s donated by turn 4 at Lincoln for their hard charger, and then $333 for the hard charger of the 358 division.
That's
all
awesome.
From turn 4 at Lincoln.
Yeah, shout out to fans of turn 4, raising money and donating to both visions for hard charger. That's awesome. Good money there. Good to see, let's see what else. Steph says can't watch about BAPS. Can't wait to watch a micro race there. I know she was saying before back in the chat that she also won't get to the track again this week. So hopefully she has dirt vision and can catch all the action on there. And then Marie also says drink at the shots coming from back and finishing second at the King's Royal. He was going to be one of my drinkets too. He ran really, really well, even though he didn't win. He just was great all week. So pretty cool to see Jaden Wolf get the hard charger for the 358s for his buddy Riley. So that was cool to see too. That's really it. Thanks guys I know the stream got cut out at one point. I'm going to have to go piece it together for you guys listening audio wise. Come check us out. Get to the track this week if you can. Get the BAPS for sure. Oh, sorry, Steph. Don't have dirt vision. But get to the track get to the track this week. If the weather hopefully breaks better, get the BAPS because that's going to be a great race. And obviously Williams Grove Friday, Saturday. Get there and we will be there. Either we won't be in turn 2 in the infield. We're usually on the back stretch at Williams Grove, just because that's the spot. But then also because you're Chris. But also, we'll probably be tailgating at least Saturday. So come find us. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week.